Hey guys, how's it going? It's me, yes, the Spicy Donut. No, I did not retire Mr. Sprinkles. I'm just simply using my own voice for this recording. Just because it's not so much of a sequence step-by-step guide, it's more of just a guide in general of what I think could possibly work for this quest. I am using Ketone for high mobility. I'm using Mont as a tank in this quest. I am using Rogia for missile. Missile is going to be very important on this map, just heads up. My MVP unit, King Bradley, he can just move far distances, hit wide areas. Good unit. And another missile unit, Lilith, Summery Lilith. I know a lot of people don't have Lilith. I do recommend you do run at least 2 missile units, and you'll see why. It's a very different map. So as usual, like, I'm not using any truststones on any of these units. I'm mostly focusing on just having damage limit up, making sure I have the missile damage, regular attack up, agility up, physical man-eater. Nothing too special here. Of course, like gear that generates AP. I recommend you give the Saga Gauntlet to Ketone. You don't necessarily need it. I just like to use it because I like to get my high mobile unit out to the backline as fast as possible. I do recommend you do run some of these jeweled rings. They're good for generating AP. So the jeweled rings definitely help maintain good tempo and longer fights, or if you're just trying to keep your units attacking without having to use any kind of buffs, because if it's important to understand that if you're trying to clear the mission where it says, where is it, combined action is no more than 30, taking a whole turn to buff can be the difference from clearing that mission. So I am running the jeweled rings, of course bells, Emberlight Vitality, just stuff to keep the fighting going. So let me show you this demonstration real quick. Alright, let's get into this quest. Alright, so with this burst core quest, right away you're going to recognize that your team is split up into 2 groups. And honestly, that makes this quest just that much more harder. Mostly because, at least for me, my main strategy for this kind of stuff is getting Luelle and using her invocation boost to boost everybody's invocation attacks, and just kind of turboing out some espers. But that's not the case here. Also, the height elevation and the distance that the enemies are is a lot greater. For this quest, you're definitely gonna need some missile units. Not so much necessarily what I have displayed here, but you will need at least, I recommend 2 missile units, maybe even 3. A decent tank that can move around, and just one really great DPS or a high movement unit. For me, I'm using Prince Mont here. He can take on a lot of hits. He's good at creating aggro, and he also just has Stone Throw, which is a missile based attack. And for people who don't know, in this quest the King Mont has neutral resistance to missile, so you want to try to take advantage of that, while my Ketone on top is taking advantage of the fact that you can poison the Shaos pretty easy. She also just has a crazy move as far as how far she can go and how high she can jump, especially if she's using the Saga Gauntlet. It'll increase it even further, making it just that much easier to get into the backline. As you can see here, I'm gonna throw a rock at this Mont. It's gonna do quite a bit of damage and use very little AP. Sedia, if you're not careful and you have too many people standing near, or you don't have any hate control on the map, Sedia can launch a lot of AoE damage on your units. So I definitely recommend using a tank on this level. You want to be able to take down at least Sedia and Shao's fairly quickly, as fast as you want to take down Mont. Like, I have my missile based units or missile damage attacking units focusing Mont, while my Katone and King Bradley are on the back line trying to take down Sedia and Shao's. You see there, the poison did tick for about 9,000. It's not unnecessarily like you have to poison her. I just use it as a means to deal more damage. She also, Ketone just has a really good move called Defibrillator, which will lower unit resistance and that can get some more damage in. I did try like magic like base attacks and like Arithmetician, but like it just didn't work. The King Mont honestly has like way too high of a magic resistance. If you're running water, like missile water, like you can probably clear this quest pretty quick. But my water team just isn't great. You can just say it's a watered down water team. I don't have hardly any good, units to utilize in water, so I just went with my overall MVP element, which is Earth. I've been able to conquer so many things with Earth. So it did take a couple tries to clear this Burst Core quest, but it honestly wasn't too difficult. As usual, I'm not running any Trust Stones on any of these units. I'm mostly relying on taking advantage of map Esper effects, taking advantage of like the enemies, resistances. If they're weak to something, definitely try to utilize that to your advantage. Be aware that you can easily run out of turns if you're trying to complete the finish within 30 turns mission. A couple times I just missed the mark where I did like 31, 32 actions. I believe on this run I did 29, maybe 30 actions, and that's mostly because I didn't get to use my invocation turbo build Earth team that I usually use for this kind of stuff. And there goes down Sedia, and that's it. I hope y'all find this guide useful. I'll see y'all in the next video, guys.